Well, folks, here we are. Today I share my opinion on whether it is smarter to buy a home or rent a home. Whether to buy or to rent is a question that many people ask, and there's truly not a correct answer. Not to spoil my stance before we get into this video, but I think the answer to this question is very situational. Today we're going to weigh the options and talk about some of the advantages of buying and some of the advantages of renting. The format of this video is kind of going to be a buying versus renting for dummies. Don't take offense to that. I'm just going to try to explain it in a way that absolutely everybody can understand. First, we're going to talk about buying. The first advantage to buying a home is building equity. Equity is the difference between what you owe on a home versus what the home is worth. Why is equity good? Well, when you sell your home, you get access to that equity. That's money that gets to go back into your pocket or towards the next purchase. When you buy a home, you're investing into your future. Over time, your mortgage payments contribute to building equity, which can be a valuable asset in the long run. A lot of times you gain natural equity as there's never been a 10-year period in the history of real estate where home values dropped and did not come back up. When you rent a home, you cannot build equity because you're just giving the money to somebody else. You're never going to have access to it again. The second advantage to buying a home versus renting is the creative freedom. Home ownership allows you to modify and customize your space according to your own taste. When you own your home, you've got the freedom to renovate, decorate, make it truly your own. When you're renting, you have to have permission from the landlord to make just about any cosmetic change to the home. And aside from the fact that it's going to make it feel more like home, there will be no return on investment because once again, that equity does not belong to you, it belongs to the owner. I always like to say, especially in recent markets, that making a mortgage payment is basically like putting your money into a safe. And oftentimes that safe is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The third advantage, which we've kind of touched on, is just potential appreciation. Just by living in your house, you are gaining money as the value goes up. Once it's time to sell, you access that equity, and most likely it's going to be more than what you paid. Now that we've given 3 advantages to buying, let's switch over to renting. The first perk is flexibility, but it's a very certain type of flexibility and you may not even need it. If you have a job that requires frequent relocation or you're just trying to stay in an area for a short period of time, maybe renting a home is the right thing for you to do so you're not locked in. Obviously, when it's time for your next move, you don't have to worry about selling a property. All the money that you've paid over the last 6, 8, 12, however long it is months is gone. If you do have to break a lease, you will oftentimes have to pay a month or 2 months rent up front, which in my opinion is no easier than just selling a home. Let's move on to number 2, which is lower upfront costs. This is another one that in some cases isn't entirely accurate. However, in most cases, renting does require a lower upfront cost. You don't have to worry about a down payment, property taxes, or maintaining the home, which if you're on a tight budget can sound really attractive. The counter argument to this is that by the time you put your security deposit plus first month's rent down, which 99.9% of rentals require, you've almost spent a down payment. Rental rates have gone up so much that, let's just say your house or apartment is $2,000 a month. You put down the security deposit plus first month's rent, that's $4,000. And if you got an extra $2,000, aka $6,000, that's a 3% down payment on a $200,000 house. There's even loans such as VA or USDA that don't require any money down. But if you're in an area where you don't have access to this or that extra money just isn't in the picture right now, the lower upfront cost of renting can be an advantage. Finally, the third advantage for renting is maintenance responsibility. Sort of already touched on this, but when you're renting a home, most agreements say that the landlord will cover a vast majority of repairs and maintenance. This means you can avoid unexpected expenses, which you can't when you own a house, and don't have to worry about the hassle of fixing things yourself. This is probably the biggest advantage to renting in my opinion. Now that we've looked at the advantages to both, take a look at some important factors to consider when making that decision. First, obviously, assess your financial situation. Take a look at your income, your savings, your credit, and your long-term goals. Second, take a look at the location and the duration. How long are you planning on staying in this specific area? Finally, consider the market conditions. Take a look at property taxes, mortgage rates, interest rates, rental costs to see what makes the most sense for you. Like we said in the beginning, deciding whether to buy or rent ultimately depends on your own unique situation. If you're capable, I would almost always recommend buying as it's a much smarter investment, and even though it may seem intimidating, it's almost always worth it. Whether you're looking to purchase a home or rent a home, I would love to be a resource for you. Just give me a shout. I say it all the time. I ain't hard to find. Just Google my name. You will find my contact information. Thank you for watching the video though. If you enjoyed it, please do subscribe to the channel and like the video. Leave a comment if you got something cool to say. The support means the world to me. I'll see y'all in the next one.